It looked and felt like Mother Nature was part of the closing day festivities at Aqueduct Racetrack. We've got our 200-acre oasis in South Ozone Park, Queens, fast and furred, ready to rock and roll on this getaway 10-race program. Hope you're doing okay, having a fine Sunday. I know I am in our second-floor clubhouse studios. Jason Blewitt alongside Richard Migliore, and we have hit the finish line here at the Big A.
Well, it seemed like we were kind of reaching for that finish line the last week or so here, but the weather did cooperate today, and I think it's just setting us up for what should be a great Belmont Spring.
Well, the forecast looks terrific on Wednesday. We'll have that quick turnaround this year in the transition from Aqueduct to Belmont. Just the 2 dark days. We hope you'll tune in, catch the National Racing Report. All things Kentucky Derby alongside Andy Serling, the MIG, and myself on the National Racing Report. 6 p.m. on both Monday and Tuesday right here on MSG Plus, and back at it 1:20 p.m. Wednesday at Belmont Park. And the opening of Belmont each and every year, at least lately, has coincided with Kentucky Derby week. And your hype horse, he was before today's workout at Churchill Downs, maybe even more so, American Pharoah, who people have called this horse a machine, effortless, and I don't think today's workout for Bob Baffert diminished that whatsoever.
No, and you know what? His stride, his rhythm, his mechanics, he is a machine. I mean, he does not miss a beat. He's flawless, as economical and beautiful a mover as you're ever going to see. And that's what makes him such a good horse, because he covers so much ground so effortlessly. And this work this morning was scintillating. And listen, you know he's talented. You know he can work fast. But what it tells you is that he's handling Churchill Downs Strip the way you want a horse to, and that just got to bolster your confidence if you like him already.
58-2 with Martin Garcia aboard, 2-year-old champion for 2014. There has been an extensive drought of 2-year-old champions winning the Run for the Roses. Spectacular bid, 79-80 or 78-79. You've got to go all the way to Street Sense in 05 and 06. So there is at least a recent winner in Street Sense a decade ago, but there is a lot of history and a long, long list of 2-year-old champions. Some great horses that were unable to get it done at a mile and a quarter at Churchill Downs.
And I think what's helped that along a great deal was the advent of the Breeders' Cup, and you have 2-year-olds running into later in the season than they used to in years past, so they're not getting as true a break. This horse, American Pharoah, unfortunately didn't make the Breeders' Cup because he was injured, but I think in some ways it was a blessing in disguise, because he got a true break at a time when these horses are growing a great deal, when they're 2 getting ready to turn 3, and I think by accident, it might have been the best thing that ever happened to him.
All right, we were hoping that was the case as we shift gears and get you down to Gulfstream Park with Social Inclusion, who on the raw talent scale perhaps sat with the best of the 3-year-old crop of 2014. They were very ambitious with this horse at times, and we even talked about it routinely on this show. They ran him in races where perhaps he was just a bit over his head or at distances a bit too far for him. He was coming off a long layoff today down at Gulfstream Park and could do no better than second chasing throughout.
Well, and the concern is, the worry is that this isn't going to be the same Social Inclusion we saw last year. They basically threw him in the deep end of the pool way too soon. And frankly, he looked like a bit of a shell of himself chasing a horse called Big Louie, who wouldn't have been even in the same area code as him last year. And you just hope the damage that was done last year can be undone now by new trainer Chad Brown, and the owners allow him to build his confidence, build his stamina, build him physically to tougher challenges. Last year, he basically was thrown in against the Wolves with very little seasoning.
Yeah, for sure. After the Wood Memorial, they didn't have enough points for the Kentucky Derby. Took a shot in the Preakness, and he wound up wrapping up his 3-year-old season in the Haskell up the track behind Byron. We hope things are okay with Social Inclusion, and maybe a horse we'll see over the spring and summer meet at Belmont Park. We will definitely see trainer Keir McLaughlin at Belmont Park alongside jockey Joel Rosario, and along with a gray 3-year-old colt by Tappet. They're the subjects of Sunday's Derby Dozen as we talk about the recent Wood Memorial winner in Frosted, who's got the white blinkers, and really, any way you slice it, was terrific here on April 4th.
He really was terrific. What struck me is the confidence of Joel Rosario. That's when a horse is emitting that power and that energy to you that gives you that kind of confidence. He got the complete makeover in the Wood Memorial. They cut the blinkers back. They did some throat surgery. They changed tactics. They changed riders. They were rewarded with a definite forward movement from Frosted. I think a horse that still has another forward move that he's going to need to be competitive in the Derby, but a horse that's always hinted at a great deal of ability, and I think he's getting good at the right time.
He's got a trainer in his corner whose barn has done very little wrong over the last month and a half, batting above 30% both in New York and in Kentucky, and he's got a rider on his back in Joel Rosario, who's already been draped with roses a few years ago with Orb, and in fact Joel caught up with the Mig earlier today.
Joel, Frosted was very impressive in the Wood Memorial. You seem very confident. You never even went to the whip. Do you think he was capable of a lot more?
Yes, he seemed like it, but it looked like he'd like to run that way too. And this is how I work it. Before that race, Kieran let me work it, and this is the same way how he worked too.
The pace seemed pretty slow in the Wood Memorial. Obviously, the Derby, you're going to get a faster pace. Do you think it'll be easier to get him to settle in the Derby?
Yes. There's a lot of, just a lot of, going on that day, and then hopefully he's out of. But for me, I think he do anything. He was. I think before the race, but I think he's a cool horse. I think he relaxed. Yes.
And you don't see any problem with the big field. He seems like he's pretty tough to you.
I don't think there's any problem with the big field. Just you got to get the trip. I think that's what's the matter.
You worked out a great trip with Orb. Do you think you can work out the same kind of trip with Frosted?
Hopefully, we're looking for that. Just it's not easy racing in 20-horse field. Every race is, it's not easy to win. You know that. And when you have 20 horses and once, that make it a little difficult.
Well, you got it done once. Good luck getting it done a second time.
Thank you.
Undoubtedly America's horse race. It's the race everybody wants to know who's going to win, your neighbors, your friends, and a terrific piece of Americana. Now, we've got a Lexington boy behind the scenes with Frosted and trader Kieran McLaughlin, and how badly does he want to win the Run for the Roses?
Well, I would imagine as bad as he's ever wanted anything. Kieran's just a tremendous horseman. He's had great success training for the right people because he knows how to get the job done. And being from Kentucky, I'm sure it would mean everything to him. And I believe in my heart that he has a Kentucky Derby. Whether it's this year or not, that remains to be seen. But I believe Kieran McLaughlin has a Kentucky Derby with his name on it.
And that would be the feather in the cap of Tappet, who has turned into perhaps the most elite and an impressive sire standing in North America. Even last year, a Kentucky Oaks winner and 3-year-old filly champion on Untappable. He had a Belmont Stakes winner in Tonalist. How about a Kentucky Derby winner on his resume come nightfall on Saturday?
Well, he already stands for $300,000 a shot. I mean, how much more could it go up? Could he get up to that $500,000 range?
I think so. With the Derby win and a few other Grade 1s on the year, we shall see when the dust settles Saturday at Churchill Downs who is draped with the roses. Good stuff. Very excited about the Kentucky Derby, but we've got some unfinished business here at the Big A, and we begin, in fact, with our featured third race. We had 3 stakes on the card. We'll call this one the technical feature. Larry Comas, a week away from his Derby call, has got the call up the backside. These are 3-year-old fillies in the Bell Harbor.
Away running in third at the rail. Then it's Paula's Silver Lining and Irish Jasper at the back of the field. The sharp starting Lakeside Sunset leads them up the backstretch. On top, a length and a half over Lindisfarne and Perchance. Right in behind them, Irish Jasper moves up inside of Paula's Silver Lining, who's only 4 lengths off the lead. At the back of the field, a 23 flat first quarter. There's a half mile to go. Lakeside Sunset on top by a length. Lindisfarne is running in second. And then comes Paula's Silver Lining, who's moved up outside of Perchance, who's down at the rail. And now 2 lengths off the lead. Perchance fourth, midway on the turn. Irish Jasper is the trailer, and they're coming toward the quarter pole. And it's Lakeside Sunset in front. Irish Jasper is circling up on the far outside. Perchance is down at the rail. In between those two is Lakeside Sunset has the lead as they come into the final furlong. On the outside, Irish Jasper. Perchance trying to squeeze through in between those two. Paula's Silver Lining is fourth. Now Perchance comes to the outside, and it's Irish Jasper in front. Irish Jasper. Inside comes Lakeside Sunset, then Perchance. Irish Jasper upsets them in the Bell Harbor. Perchance second, then Lakeside Sunset third.
Here's the ISO tight shot there coming down to the wire. It was a roughly run first running of the Bell Harbor Stakes as we have the winner Irish Jasper, who kind of drifted in and then kicked clear as the longest shot in the 6-horse field.
Well, Irish Jasper had clear run on the outside, was able to continue her momentum. She came over a little bit in mid-stretch, trying to keep Perchance in a little bit of a precarious position. We're going to watch the head-on. And you're going to see Perchance coming off the rail. Kendrick Carmouche just race riding, trying to keep that door closed a little bit. Paula Silverlining got caught in the jam a little bit. I don't think I would have made a change for that. I would have had to take a long, hard look at this move here when Perchance under Irad Ortiz angles out sharply and basically makes Paula Silverlining have to alter course again. I'm sure they didn't make a change because they didn't feel like it had an effect on the outcome of the race. But at what stage do you draw a line and say, guys, you can't change paths that abruptly or that many lanes? I mean, there has to be some better parameters that the riders are aware of, because I think it creates a dangerous environment when riders don't know where that line is. It creates too much of a gray area.
Not guilty was the call with the jock's objection and steward's inquiry. I do wonder going forward if there'll be some days for perhaps Irad Ortiz Jr., who is aboard Perchance. Regardless, Derek Ryan was in it to win it, showed up, short field, rank outsider, got the money with Irish Jasper, and he caught up with Richie after the stake.
Irish Jasper really worked out a good trip and a nice one-run sprinter.
Yeah, she ran a race today. I was very confident coming in. I sort of stopped by Pimlico on the way back from Tampa last weekend and got a good 5/8 work in the turf in her, and she came out really good, and I was really confident today.
All of her races sprinting on the dirt have been good. You stretched her out once, that didn't kind of work out, and then the turf.
Yeah, we stretched her out because there was nothing else down there for her that time of year, and there hasn't been another race in Tampa since I left. Well, we're only out of there a week now, and this was the plan all along.
And it seems like Kendrick Carmouche gets along really well with her.
I've been riding Kendrick since he had the bug, and we've had a lot of success together, and I'm glad to see him up here doing good.
What do you think, if she comes out of the race well and everything, what would be the next logical spot?
We'll see how she comes out of it and go from there.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
We do have an extensive 3-year-old filly sprinting program, stakes program in the Big Apple, the Jersey Girl, the Victory Ride during the spring-summer meet at Belmont Park. But I'm reminded, and we're drawn to the unpredictability of the game. It's one of the great beauties of thoroughbred racing. You've got to be in it to win it, though. And Derek Ryan, despite the fact that he was 13-1 or so in a short field, took a shot with Irish Jasper, and he got the top prize.
Well, I think you should take shots. If a horse is doing well, a horse is healthy, and they're acting the right way, in a 5-horse field, why not take a shot? And this is a filly on the dirt, has never run a poor race sprinting, and this is what she wants to do, and Derek Ryan got her back to her strength. I think that's what you have to do. You got to be in it to win it.
And we are on this edition of Aqueduct Insider closing day festivities. We've got more coming your way. Mandatory payout in the Pick 6, a happy Kendrick Carmouche, and some turf racing on this Sunday at the Big A. Opening day at Belmont Park, just a 2-day turnaround. We opened the doors. Tens of millions over the years have gone through the admission gates, and we will do just that. Historic admission gates. Wednesday, April 29th, first race post of 1:20 p.m. in the forecast. High in the low 70s, sunny skies over in Elmont.
Well, not only are we going to appreciate getting back to beautiful Belmont Park, we're going to appreciate that weather. We kind of went through it this winter. We were going to really, really savor the nice days.
Back to Belmont and back to this closing day program at Aqueduct. Late pick 4, 10 races today. Here's the 7th as we go back to Larry C.
Madrus had a bit of an awkward start there. Energetico is out the best and goes out to take the early lead. Warriors Crown away running in second. Cool Boys is third. Madrus, who hesitated just a bit at the break, is right on the outside of Cool Boys now. 2 lengths off the lead, and the trailer is joking up the backstretch, and they're in pursuit of Energetico. And now up into second is Madrus on the far outside. At the rail, Warriors Crown follows in third. The opening quarter in 23 seconds flat. And then it's Cool Boys fourth. Joking is fifth, trailing the field, but only 3 lengths off the lead as they round the far turn. Energetico by a neck. Madrus on the outside second. Behind them, Warrior's Crown is in behind the leaders in third with 2 lengths to make up. Then Cool Boys on the outside and joking in the end of the stretch. Energetico, a 46 2/2 mile. Madrus on the outside. Madrus and Energetico stride for stride. Warrior's Crown is 2 lengths behind and also trying to get into it is joking in fourth. It is Energetico in front. Here's Warrior's Crown on the far outside. Madrus between those two and joking along the rail. Down to the line. Warrior's Crown got up in time outside of Madrus and Energetico, then joking.
On paper, this went from a great race to a good race because there were 3 or 4 key early scratches. That being said, the 5 that showed up put on a heck of a battle down to the finish line.
They really did put on a good show. The 2-horse Warrior's Crown gets up under insistent urging by Junior Alvarado. Good, strong finish from him. I actually thought the 4 joking was a bit unlucky. Kind of never really got in a comfortable position. Had to dive back to the rail to get out of the kickback and might have finished best of all, but it was a very entertaining race.
And Madrus took the worst of it, breaking poorly out of the starting gate. That put him behind the 8 ball, yet he was right there in that photo finish. Good job by Bill Mott's crew getting the winner back off a lengthy layoff. Race number 8, we continue on. It is the Park Avenue. This is a Stallion Stakes, New York Stallion Stakes, and these are 3-year-old fillies with Larry Comas.
Off. Majestic Jessica broke well. Here comes Dreamboat Annie up the rail to take the lead. And then comes Freudian, the Lewis Dinner, racing well out into the track here, well removed from the rail. And in fourth early on, Fenwick Hall is in fifth. And then comes on the outside Take Issue. Get Hot, Stay Hot at the back of the field as they continue their run up the backstretch. Dreamboat Annie in front with Majestic Jessica. These two stride for stride through a 23-2 opening quarter mile. And continuing to get out here is the Lewis Dinner, who's in third, 2 lengths off the lead. Rod Ortiz Jr. trying to keep her from bearing out on the far turn, but the Lewis Dinner is giving Rod Ortiz some issues here. Then comes Freudian running in fourth on the inside. Take Issue is next. And then Fenwick Hall down at the rail. And they're coming to the top of the stretch. Majestic Jessica is going to turn for home in front. And the Lewis Dinner has gone extremely wide throughout here. Majestic Jessica on the inside. Dreamboat Annie on the outside. Freudian, the Lewis Dinner trying to be good enough on the far outside. And Take Issue's coming too. It's wide open here. Freudian, Take Issue. The Lewis Dinner on the far outside. Take Issue, the Lewis Dinner. Down to these two. Take Issue won it. The Lewis Dinner ends up in a photo with Dreamboat Annie, then another photo between Freudian and Majestic Jessica.
Another mad scramble down to the finish line and a big price winner. Steve Asserson, Toby Sheets had the right touch here in the Park Avenue.
And let's give some props to Junior Alvarado. I thought made a big difference his ride here. The Lewis Dinner was very game, trying to get out extremely badly under Irad Ortiz Jr., and he really couldn't ride him properly until they got well into the stretch and hung on well in spite of the ground loss. But a pretty good addition of the New York Stallion Stakes.
So many facets to the thoroughbred racing industry, and you consider the fact how hard it is to make a stallion, especially a horse who on his best day maybe was a grade 3 winner. But I like the fact that Sir Whimsy is the sire of the filly that we just looked at, and he'll also run second in the Times Square for the boys. A good day for the few Sir Whimsies that are currently running in the Big Apple. And for more on the Times Square off the quarter pole, here's Larry. In fact, he's got the calls of 4, 5, 6, and 10 after the opener.
Mile, and Possessed has taken the lead. Possessed and Jose Ortiz coming to the final furlong in front. Disco Partner on the outside and Organic Gemini are coming. Clockwork is back running in fourth. Possessed another 16th. Here's Organic Gemini. And on the outside comes Disco Partner. Possessed has got it close to home, and Possessed will win over Organic Gemini. Disco Partner was third. Out of Cypress Hills cuts the corner, and then Sauvignon. They're into the stretch, and it's Fredek. Fredek has taken the lead. Viva Malala. On the outside comes on. Out of Cypress Hills. Moves through on the inside, and on the far outside, Courage is a majority. Is finishing fast. Viva Malala. Courage is a majority. Down to these two. Viva Malala. Courage is a majority. Down to the wire. Head-bobbing finish. Too close to call. Fredek was third. Leroy Jr. has taken the lead after a 45 2/2 mile. And then comes Lulu Rock's Mighty Zealous on the outside. Down toward the rails, Sanctify. And from far behind, Frisky Warrior is finishing well in the center of the track, but it's Leroy Jr. in front close to home. Leroy Jr. with the rail in the lead coming down to the line. And Leroy Jr. will win. Tight second there between Frisky Warrior and Mighty Zealous. Is that all there is? Circles up on the outside. And they're into the stretch, and it's Dreaming As Always. Dreaming As Always, and here's Casey Lauren on the inside. Dreaming As Always in front. Casey Lauren is second. Is that all there is? On the far outside is taken third late as they pass the 16th pole. Dreaming As Always has the lead. Dreaming As Always, and Rajiv Mirage to win it. Dead tight for a second between Casey Lauren there on the outside. And then Arc Above, who's weaving through traffic up into fourth, but still 5 lengths to make up. And Holy Invader to catch in the final furlong. And Holy Invader's got a 3-length lead. And then it's Rope-a-Dope, Training for Success, and Arc Above coming down to the line. Holy Invader and Fernando Jara will win it by 3. And then it was Rope-a-Dope.
Fernando Jara, Patrick Quick closed things out on the Big A turf course with the winner in the last, Holy Invader, who, as Andy Serling pre-race pointed out, that horse's last race about 2 years ago, he had finished second to Amira's Prince.
Wow. You said only Andy would come up with that time. I can't keep track that far back.
9-1 there with Holy Invader. Good stuff in the nightcap. And what about the first race as we get Fred Cappy Capicella and his trusty binoculars, and we'll pick them up in the stretch of the 22nd running of the Times Square division. Short field turned out to be a pretty good race, and this was just the icing on the cake, Mig, to the kind of winter and aqueduct run Charlton Baker had.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlton Baker and his partners on the ownership of this horse as well. This horse was very resolute, kind of took challenges from all sides and fought everybody off. And I like that ISO there. Real nice illustration of Jose Ortiz's riding finish. I like the way these Ortiz boys, as well as many of these other young riders around here, are finishing on these horses.
6 days on the clock for Jose Ortiz, Irad Ortiz, Emmanuel Franco to be in the starting gate of Kentucky Derby 141. It's pretty unbelievable. We wish them the best of luck and a safe trip at Churchill Downs. Just one claim, a runaway winner today. We had to wait around a long time, but race number 9, somebody made a move in the claim box, and it worked out as Jealous. Man, she just crushed the field.
She crushed the field, and I'm sure there's some jealous people out there that didn't drop a slip for her the way she won today.
12-5 a bargain. Good call. We have got our final segment coming up, a look back at the week that was, as we get things ready for training at the Big A tomorrow morning. We're on our way to Belmont Park, but stay tuned with us here on MSG Plus. No place like Belmont Park on Kentucky Derby Day, an extended 12-race program that begins at noon, live racing, 3 graded stakes, music, bourbon tasting, and a Kentucky Derby barbecue in that spacious backyard. And we'll have a little tune, some good tunes, in fact, from Parachute, who will be playing live music at the Taj Mahal. It's the Mig, it's Jason. We hope you're doing okay on this closing day edition of Aqueduct Insider. No rest for the weary. We're not done yet. We've got to take a look at some of the highlights here in the last few racing cards at the Big A, beginning with Angel Cruz, 22 wins, young man as a bug boy, taking down a riding title in New York.
Well, congratulations to him. That has to feel awfully good. I know how bad he wanted it. I spoke to him earlier in the week, and you could just feel the energy coming off him. So congratulations. Well done.
Great accomplishment here as we run through the standings. Angel Cruz, 22. Irad, as he tends to do, whether he's winning or just losing, made it pretty close over the last few racing cards.
Oh, he finished with a flurry, that's for sure. But look at the top 4 riders on this list and think about how young they are. I don't think anybody's over 22 or 23 years old there. That bodes well for us as fans going forward because they're just going to get better and better.
And David Jacobson, the perennial leading trainer here at Aqueduct, another trading title to his credit. He's got the numbers, he wins a lot of races, and he walked away with a baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen for sure, and manages horses well. Runs horses where they can win, and that's one of the keys to his success.
And a pretty extensive and impressive list of horse people as we run down the trader standings.
Yeah, we're very privileged in New York to have good horsemen all the way through.
And owner standings here, David Jacobson, he has claimed a lot in his name. He has run a lot in his name, and he walked away with an owner's title. He'll get a couple of trophies early on at Belmont Park, celebrating the spring meet. Michael Dubbs second with 5, Godolphin Racing with 4, and we can get on to FNX, who turned quite a few heads with a 107 Beyer performance, upsetting the field for Jimmy Jerkins in Saturday's Excelsior.
Yeah, tremendous job from Jimmy Jerkins with this long-winded New York bred, who's well-named. And also, Angel Arroyo, give him a little credit. He seems to really fit this horse like a glove. He's a strong finisher. And you knew about midway through the race that FNX was going to be extra tough to beat.
Relentless refused to lose, and looking at this performance at face value, perhaps he joins the conversation, at least in the upper echelon of the nation's top handicap horses. And what does the future hold for Coach Inge, who was dropping out of a loss on the inner track against FNX, got away from that one, and look what he did to this field on Friday.
He crushed this field with a huge Beyer, and I think he was channeling his inner Uncle Mo in honor of Uncle Mo's debuting 2-year-old at Keeneland. So kind of a really, really coming out performance for Coach Inge.
From a couple of, I guess, lightly raced 4-year-olds to the old gray stalwart, Be Bullish, the fountain of youth, the 10-year-old who's now 18 for 86, and he has earned over $1 million.
And you got to love the form he's been in. He just keeps getting it done. And, you know, my thing about it is when horses are in good form, they enjoy what they're doing. That's when you race them. When they start showing signs that the racing's getting to them, or they're worn out, or they're tired, then it's time to pull the plug, not when a horse is in this kind of form.
And he's still breathing fire. You know, Be Bullish will have a date with Big Sandy, and the same can be said for both Andy and Maggie, who have a couple of turf horses to look at on opening day.
I'm so excited about the opening day at Belmont Card. I couldn't go to sleep until I'd finished handicapping it, so we've got picks for Wednesday already done. Race 6 furlongs in the turf. That's something you haven't heard in New York in over 6 months. We'll be on the turf at that race, and I think it's a very interesting matchup of some fillies sprinting on the turf. And it's not just 3-year-olds, but I'm interested in a 3-year-old in this race named My Cara Mia. The only time she went 6 furlongs in the turf was her debut, so we know she can run well fresh, and that was far and away the best race she ran. Yes, she was lucky that horses like Consumer Credit, who's now a multiple stakes winner, had traffic trouble in that race. But there were multiple good horses in there, and My Cara Mia made an excellent run, indicating to me that she is a talented turf sprinter. She looks to get pace to run into in this race, and I also think her price will be fair, and Rajiv Mirage, who rode her that victory, is back aboard. All signs point to a decent value play on the 4, My Cara Mia, in the 6th race on opening day at Belmont.
Here in the sunny Aqueduct paddock for the last day of this spring 2015, and we'll look forward to beautiful Belmont Park. The Wednesday card, I'm going to take a look at race number 6. It is an allowance race for the fillies, and we're going 6 furlongs. Love the turf sprints, and I'm happy to have them back at Belmont. So I'm going to take a shot with a layoff horse, and that's for trainer Bill Mott, Lady of Victory. And she comes off of a win last summer at Saratoga, going the mile and a 16th distance, and to me, she struck me as more of a sprinting type, and she did have speed and took them gate to wire, so I like this turn back in distance for a filly who's really well suited to the turf, and hopefully Bill has her ready to rock and roll off that layoff, plus she gets the addition of Lasix for her 3rd career start. So Lady of Victory, Paddock Insider for the first day, opening day at Belmont Park. Guys, back to you.
A mere 8 miles down the Bell Parkway, but worlds apart. We say goodbye to the Big A, our home for 6 months, and hello to beautiful Belmont Park. First race post, 1:20 p.m. There she is off in the distance. Dark the next couple of days. Don't forget our Kentucky Derby preview on the National Racing Report Monday and Tuesday on MSG Plus. For the Mig and myself, we thank you for tuning in on this closing day program at Aqueduct, and we will see you at the Taj Mahal.